On my 18th birthday, I received several mysterious text messages on my phone. The sender claimed to be me from 10 years in the future. "This is not a prank," one message read. "Go to the computer science department and find Liam Blackwood," another instructed. "He may seem reserved and cold now, but in the years to come, he will be the one who loves you most in this world. Save him. Promise me you won't let him die for you this time. My name is Aria Winters, and I'm a freshman in college. I just celebrated my 18th birthday last week. It was probably the most surreal birthday I have ever had. On my birthday, my dad gave me a new phone. That night, after showering, I lay in bed, transferring the SIM card from my old phone to the new one and downloading some commonly used apps. As I was fiddling with those apps, my phone suddenly notified me of a new message. I glanced at it casually. It was a random sentence that said, "Go to the computer science department and find Liam Blackwood." I had never even heard of Liam Blackwood. It must have been sent to the wrong person. I ignored it, but soon another message came through. "Hurry, you must find him before Christmas, or it will be too late." The sender seemed so urgent, it might be something important. Out of kindness, I opened the message thread and replied, "I think you've got the wrong person." The response came immediately. "No, I'm looking for you, Aria Winters." I found this bizarre, so I checked the sender's phone number. What I saw made my blood run cold, and I threw my phone away in shock. The sender of these messages had the same phone number as mine. Imagine this. It's exactly midnight, and I'm texting myself. Was this a malicious prank or a ghostly midnight message? I took a few deep breaths, mustered up my courage, picked up the phone, and with trembling fingers typed, "Who are you?" Until dawn, there was no reply from the other end. I had almost forgotten about this incident, but tonight I stayed up late preparing for a club officer interview the next day. As soon as the clock struck midnight, my phone automatically popped up a message, still the same, "Go to the computer science department and find Liam Blackwood." This was the second time. I wanted to get to the bottom of this. "Who are you? Is this a prank?" I asked. The reply I got was mind-boggling. "I am you, Aria from 10 years in the future." Are they kidding me? This is ridiculous. I reminded them. April Fool's Day was 6 months ago. "I'm not lying to you. If you don't believe me, I can prove it. On your end, it's 2020, and you currently have a crush on Connor Sullivan, right?" My head buzzed. Connor Sullivan was a guy in our club a year older than me. He was quite handsome, known as the gentle senior among the students. He had been particularly caring towards me, and I did have some feelings for him, but I had never told anyone about it. How did she know? As if knowing my thoughts, the other person said, "Don't doubt it. I just know because I am you from 10 years in the future." A sudden thought struck me, and I asked her, "So, am I with Connor Sullivan 10 years from now?" This time, the other side was silent for a moment. "Yes, you're married." Before I could feel embarrassed for a few seconds, my phone started buzzing with messages as if it was possessed. "But he has a small dick, he's terrible in bed, and he's a super mega scumbag. If you end up with him, he'll spend your money, sleep with your friends, and even try to kill you." I was dumbfounded. After digesting her information, I couldn't help but feel devastated. What? Is my future really that miserable? Perhaps realizing the topic had gone off track, she quickly brought it back. "There's no time left. Listen to me. You must go to the computer science department and find Liam Blackwood. Although he seems introverted and cold now, in the years to come, he will be the one who loves you most in this world. Promise me, save him. Don't let him die for you this time." I asked her who Liam Blackwood was, which class he was in, why she said he died for me, what happened, but the messages I sent seemed to sink into a bottomless sea. I looked at the time well. It was 12, 10:05 a.m.
It seemed to be the same time last time.
It appears that this cross-time communication between us has a specific time limit. The next day, I dragged my tired body to the 8 a.m. class. It was the department head's course, and everyone had fixed seats. You could tell at a glance who was late or absent. As soon as I entered the classroom, I noticed extra breakfast on my desk, soy milk, small wontons, and even a chocolate muffin. I asked my roommate, who had arrived just before me, "Who brought this?" She said, "I don't know. It was already there when I came." She lowered her voice and grinned at me. "Honestly, Aria, was it Connor Sullivan? I saw him buy you bubble tea before." "Not bad." "Huh? You just posted on social media last night that you wanted to eat a chocolate muffin, and today he bought it for you. He must like you, right?" The chocolate muffin was only sold at a trendy store 3 miles from campus, and that store was so popular that you had to be quick to get their hot new products. If it were any other time, I would have been touched and given Connor some bonus points in my heart. However, because of last night's text messages, now when I heard Connor Sullivan's name, I couldn't help but think of that sentence. He has a small dick, he's terrible in bed.
Help.
Connor Sullivan's image in my mind crumbled by half. Facing my roommate's suggestive gaze, I quickly denied it. "No, we're not in any kind of relationship." At 3 p.m., I attended the club officer interview on time. The interview went smoothly, and afterwards, Connor came to congratulate me and asked if I wanted to go watch a movie with him that evening. In the past, I might have happily agreed, but today, as soon as he came close, that phrase, "small dick, terrible in bed," kept flashing in my mind. Heaven knows how much willpower it took to keep my gaze from drifting downwards. Connor took another step towards me. "I've already bought the tickets. It's a mystery film, the kind you like." I declined politely, maintaining a calm expression. "I have something to do today. Sorry, Connor." "All right," he looked a bit disappointed. "We'll plan for next time then." I breathed a sigh of relief, then remembered something. Liam Blackwood was also in the computer science department, right? Maybe Connor had heard of him. With a try and see attitude, I asked him about Liam Blackwood. He didn't know him. "He's in class 1, the most famous among this year's freshmen."
"Why?
"Do you know him?" I shook my head and made up an excuse. "A friend of mine likes him." "Aria, you should tell your friend to give up on that idea." Connor's expression turned serious.
"Why?
"Does he have a girlfriend?" "No." Connor frowned. "I heard he's sick. Mental illness." I heard some rumors about Liam Blackwood from Connor. Apparently, when he first entered college, he became quite popular due to his good looks and aloof attitude towards people. Connor's position as the most popular guy in the department was almost threatened. But later, someone dug up his family history and posted it on the school forum. People's attitudes towards him changed 180 degrees overnight. The reason was simple. He had a mentally ill father who was a murderer. When it happened, Liam was only 5 years old. He witnessed his frenzied father kill his mother with a knife, then walk towards him step by step. Fortunately, before the knife fell, his father came to his senses, but realizing what he had done, the tremendous fear and guilt made him drop the knife and flee. In the end, it was a neighbor returning from work who discovered something was wrong, opened the door to find a murder had occurred next door, and shakily called the police. When the police arrived, the body was lying in a pool of blood, already cold. The 5-year-old boy was curled up in a corner, his body trembling uncontrollably, his gaze blank. After that, Liam's father remained missing. The police couldn't find his whereabouts. Liam only had a distant relative, but that family considered him a burden and sent him to an orphanage. The person who posted on the forum described it vividly, claiming to be Liam's high school classmate who had personally witnessed Liam go berserk, pinning a much taller senior against the wall and beating him. The reason seemed to be that the senior had made a joke about Liam's parents. Everyone said that his reckless life, risking craziness, must have been inherited from his father, and so rumors of Liam having a mental illness spread throughout their computer science department. I read all the posts about Liam on the forum. Far from being scared, I felt a bit sorry for him. I must have been influenced by the text messages from these past few days. There was a photo of Liam on the forum, a candid shot taken by someone. In the photo, he was glaring at the camera, his eyes wild and cold. I stared at that photo again and again, conflicted all night, and decided to go find Liam and see the situation for myself. Finding Liam wasn't difficult at all. I didn't even need to ask anyone. Standing outside their classroom window and looking in, I could spot him at a glance among the sea of people. His aura was unique. At this age, college students often like to wear a few branded items, each one full of youthful energy. Liam was different. He sat alone in the last row, wearing the simplest white t-shirt, with black hair and black eyes, like a stagnant pool untouched by sunlight, out of place in this world. I compared this face with the photo on the forum and could confirm it was him. Perhaps my gaze was too intense. He suddenly looked in my direction. Our eyes met, his gaze sharp. Caught peeking, my heart skipped a beat, and under the influence of guilt, I reflexively crouched down, hiding under the window. Only after crouching did I realize how strange this looked. I wasn't a peeping Tom. Why was I feeling guilty? As the bell rang, people poured out of the classroom. I stood on tiptoe looking for Liam. As expected, he was walking at the back of the crowd, carrying a shoulder bag, his expression quiet and indifferent. Because of the rumors, everyone's attitude towards him was both wary and fearful. While others were in groups of 3 or 5, there was no one around him. The sense of loneliness was palpable. I couldn't help but call out to him. "Hey." I ran up to him, took out my phone. "You're Liam Blackwood, right?" "Hi, I'm Aria Winters from the design department. Can I add you on Snapchat?" This was the first time in my life I had ever approached a boy on my own. While I was feeling nervous, Liam stopped and looked at me. I couldn't tell if it was surprise or expectation in his voice. "You know me?" His voice was quite pleasant, very clean. To not seem too abrupt, I answered honestly. "I didn't know you before, but I want to know you now. Is that okay?" Liam didn't seem satisfied with my answer. He said, "No, it's not." Those eyes returned to their previous emotionless state, as if the expectation I saw in them earlier was just my imagination. He strode past me. I called his name, only to receive a cold response. "Don't follow me." At midnight, the message from the future arrived on my phone right on time. "Hello? Don't you know this is how you lose me?" It was still that same, unshakable, almost like a death warrant. "Quickly go to the computer science department and find Liam Blackwood." Thinking of what happened during the day, I replied with a depressed mood. "I went today. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? I feel like he doesn't like me at all. He doesn't even seem to know me." In my depression, I also felt a bit wronged. I didn't know where this sense of grievance came from. Was it because I had enthusiastically approached someone only to be coldly rejected? Or was it because it was Liam? That glance he gave me through the glass today left a deep impression. I think I might have fallen for him at first sight. It took a full 2 minutes before a message came from the other side. "No mistake. I have read his diary. He carried out a secret love throughout his student years, but neither you nor I knew about his feelings." A secret love that lasted throughout his student years? I searched through my memories, but really couldn't remember anyone named Liam Blackwood. I asked, when exactly did Liam start liking me? Surprisingly, my future self replied, "I don't know either." His love was too silent. I never noticed it. Anyway, You must be wary of Connor Sullivan. He's a complete scumbag, guilty of both financial fraud and attempted murder. If it weren't for Liam, Connor would have succeeded. My life was exchanged for Liam's. That's why I want to save him. I want him to live. I promised my 28-year-old self that I would save Liam. And for this, I even made a comprehensive plan. First, of course, was to stay away from Connor Sullivan. My fondness for Connor came from his usual care for me, but I'm not stupid. Once I learned he was a scumbag, I would have bought a train ticket and fled overnight. Next was to find a way to get close to Liam. I got hold of their department's class schedule from the school's confession wall. On a morning when I didn't have class, I walked into their classroom with 2 breakfast sets, brazenly sat down next to Liam. Liam seemed very uncomfortable with my arrival. From the moment I sat down, he curled up like a little hedgehog, his voice hard and cold. "What are you doing here?" He was quite cute like this, writing about his secret love for me in his diary, but in reality, for some reason, he seemed to deliberately avoid me. It was a bit like those people online who say one thing but mean another. I handed him the bun and soy milk I had brought. "I brought you breakfast." He clenched his jaw, stared at me for a while, then pushed it away. "I don't want it." But the way he looked at me just now clearly showed he wanted to accept it. What a contradictory person. I admit I had my own agenda. My 28-year-old self only said to save Liam's life, to let him live. But knowing this, my 18-year-old self wanted to date him. We pushed and pulled over the breakfast several times, attracting the attention of classmates in front of us, who couldn't help but turn around to look. Their faces couldn't hide their shock, as if surprised that someone would actually sit next to Liam and talk to him. As the bell for class rang, I simply grabbed Liam's hand, put the breakfast in it, and softened my voice to say quietly, "Come on, skipping breakfast is bad for your health. I brought this specially for you. Just take it, okay?" I'm quite good at acting coy. Sure enough, Liam froze when I held his hand, reacting as if he had been electrocuted. This time he didn't refuse, but he put the breakfast at the corner of his desk, seemingly with no intention of eating it. I sighed internally, thinking there would be more opportunities in the future. However, I had only come 3 times before Liam grabbed my arm and cornered me in the hallway. If I had to describe it, he was like a small beast whose territory had been invaded, bristling with all his spines to warn me. "What exactly do you want to do?" If it were someone else interrogating me like this, I would have been scared away long ago. But it was Liam, those dark eyes staring intently at me. Beneath the surface of annoyance was an almost undisguisable confusion and fear. I didn't understand, but I felt sorry for him, so my mouth moved faster than my brain. "I just kind of like you. Can't you like me back a little?" Liam let go of my hand. The next second he suddenly smiled. This was the first time I had seen him smile. It was very attractive, making me dizzy. If I liked Liam 5 points before, from this second on, I can guarantee this liking had shot up to 7 points. But his smile wasn't the kind of bright, happy smile. Instead, due to his personal aura, it seemed somewhat gloomy. He walked towards me step by step, the height difference making me involuntarily back up a few steps until my back was against the wall. I have to say, at this moment, he was much more vivid than his usual calm and indifferent self. It seemed that this was the real him, having torn off his disguise. "Do you know what consequences saying those words might have?" he asked. I shook my head. I was confessing. Surely he wouldn't hit me? Liam grabbed my chin with a kind of gritted teeth feeling. "You don't know. Let me tell you, I have a mental illness. I've been trying hard to control myself not to do anything out of line to you, but after what you just said, I really might not be able to hold back." He lowered his eyes to look at me, his eyelashes long and thick. For a moment, I thought he was going to kiss me, but he didn't. Although he said he couldn't hold back, in reality, He was controlling himself very well. "Didn't you want to add me on Snapchat?" He stepped back half a step, took out his phone, and took a photo of me. Then my phone vibrated, and the photo showed me looking dumbfounded. Now I was truly shocked. How did I have Liam's Snapchat? I vaguely remembered adding a lot of people at the beginning of the semester, to the point where I couldn't distinguish who was who by the end. Was it added then? Liam just stared at me like this. He was like a dormant volcano, ready to erupt. Seeing my shock, he spoke maliciously. "Without your knowledge, I have been in your friend list all along, closely following and collecting every little bit about you. I couldn't bear to touch the breakfast you bought me. I took it all home and vacuumed, sealed it because they were things you gave me. I don't know who told you about my feelings, but Aria, if you're scared, run away now. Run far away and never come looking for me again." How could he be like this, using a megaphone to blatantly tell me he's a bad guy, telling me not to get close to him? He seemed to be fiercely warning me, but his eyes looking at me were struggling and lingering. So much so that I wasn't scared at all. I just thought he was pitiful and cute, like a big dog who had been wronged. And what I wanted to do was to take this big dog home. If before, agreeing to save Liam was more out of a sense of mission and responsibility, now I sincerely felt sorry for him from the bottom of my heart. If it weren't for these misfortunes, he should have been more cheerful and smiley. Just based on that face alone, the girls who liked him could probably hold hands and surround an entire school. After this week, it would be the National Day holiday. Liam's conditions weren't very good. His father was missing and left him nothing but a house. I heard from people on the forum that he often does part-time jobs during holidays to earn his tuition fees. On the first day of the holiday, I left home early in the morning, following behind Liam, and saw him walk into a bookstore. I used my phone to take a picture of the recruitment ad posted on the bookstore's window. The next day, when I appeared in front of Liam, he pursed his lips, pulled me aside, and looked down at me. "It seems you didn't take my warning seriously at all." I pointed at the green work uniform on me, identical to his, and said without any guilt, "I'm here to work." Liam's eyes were deep. He stared at me for a long time, as if he wanted to devour me, but in the end, he did nothing. Instead, he picked up some books from the side and walked out, his back silent and irritated. Including me and Liam, there were 4 employees in the entire bookstore. The other 2 were a man in his 40s and a short-haired girl about my age. Seeing that I always chased after Liam whenever I was free, the short-haired girl secretly asked me, "Is he your boyfriend?" I smiled and answered, "Not yet." She patted my shoulder, encouraging me, "Keep it up. He looks hard to pursue. I wish you success." I smiled without saying anything. On the surface, it looked like I was chasing Liam's cold face, but in reality, Liam liked me too. We were a mutual crush. In the hot afternoon, I bought milk tea for everyone. I personally opened Liam's and held it to his mouth. He looked at me quietly. Thanks to his warning last time, I finally understood what this look meant. I pushed the milk tea forward a bit more and said quietly when no one was paying attention, "I ordered this for you. Drink it. I'll buy you more next time." The corner of Liam's mouth turned up slightly, the amplitude very small and fleeting. He said with some displeasure, "Do you think you're coaxing a 3-year-old?" Despite saying this, under my soft persistence, he still took a sip of the milk tea from my hand, then frowned. "Too sweet." The milk tea might be sweet, but not as sweet as my heart. As long as Liam doesn't keep saying he loves me while pushing me away, everything is fine. I sat on the chair, swinging my legs happily. My roommate asked where I was, and I said I was working. She sent a flood of question marks. "Did your family go bankrupt? Did your dad's company collapse? Send me the address. I want to see what kind of job can make use of you." I sent her the location, But what I didn't expect was that she not only came herself, but also brought Connor Sullivan. When Connor walked in with a bouquet of roses, he looked like a peacock trying to court someone. "Aria, long time no see." He smiled and handed the flowers to me. "After you finish work, would you like to have dinner together?" I thought, this is not good. I instinctively looked towards Liam. Sure enough, that slight curve at the corner of his mouth from earlier was completely gone.
Gone.
What a painful accident. Back to square one overnight. I was shocked and angry, pulling Connor and his unfortunate roses towards the exit. "Aria, what's wrong?" Connor looked at me innocently. I took a deep breath to calm myself. "I'll just say two things," I said. "First, I don't like roses." I had posted on social media before that I'm allergic to pollen. If Connor had looked through my posts, he should have known this. Clearly, he wasn't being thoughtful. By the same logic, the person who bought me breakfast and chocolate muffins before wasn't him either. If it wasn't him, then it could only be. My gaze involuntarily looked into the store. Through the glass door, Liam had returned to how he was when I first met him, arranging shelves alone. I suddenly remembered what my 28-year-old self said. This person's love was too silent. When he didn't want you to know, you would never notice. Since fate has given me a chance to find the person who truly loves me, of course I won't make the same mistake again. Secondly, I don't like you either. I thought I had rejected him decisively enough, but Connor seemed to have misunderstood something. He seemed convinced that I had feelings for him and reached out to grab me. Why? Weren't we getting along well before? I was speechless. Who is getting along well with you? How absurd. I brushed off his hand, but he suddenly increased his force, lowering his eyes. I know I have nothing now and am not worthy of you, but I will work hard in the future and all the money I earn will be for you to spend.
Don't reject me.
I was stunned, not knowing whether to marvel at his excessive drama or at the fact that he was already making empty promises when he wasn't even my boyfriend. He kept talking, but his hand was restless, reaching for my face. I kept backing away until my back met a solid chest. Looking up, it was Liam. His tightly clenched jaw revealed his current bad mood. He seemed very angry, his breathing heavy, clearly on the edge of rage. "She said she doesn't like you. Can't you understand human language?" he said. He pulled me behind him and slammed a cardboard box onto Connor's head with a loud thud that made everyone's heart skip a beat. "Stay away from her.
Get lost."
For a moment, the whole scene was silent. It was noon, and there weren't many people in front of the bookstore. Everyone held their breath, watching this side. Liam seemed to wake up from his rage, his eyes flashing a hint of regret when he looked at me. Then he let go of his hand. It wasn't until he left silently that my roommate came to her senses, muttering, holy shit. The short-haired girl also ran over, looking at me and then at the disheveled Connor, her face full of conflict. Should I call the manager? I quickly stopped her. No need. It's all because of me. I'll handle it. Calling the manager might cause Liam to lose this job. I didn't want everyone to look at him with strange eyes again. I asked my roommate to take Connor to the hospital and transferred him some money for medical expenses. When I found Liam, he was leaning against a shelf, expressionless, his eyes dark as he looked at me. In the dim warehouse, he looked lonely and irritable. I spoke up. "Liam, let's talk." As I got closer, this surface calmness shattered. Liam reached out and hugged my waist, burying his head on my shoulder, his voice hoarse. "Aria, I told you I'm sick. When I can't control myself, I become like just now. If you're scared, don't come provoke me anymore." I had seen his medical report. It was mild bipolar disorder. Also called manic depression, it manifests as manic or depressive episodes when it occurs. I patted his back. "I'm not scared. I'll accompany you for treatment. It can be cured if you cooperate with the treatment. Liam's breath was close to my ear. Do you know, when you don't come looking for me, I can hold back from finding you. But once you come, I can't help but want more. I looked into his eyes and said word by word, I know, but I just like you. I like you no matter how you are. After a long gaze, he sighed softly. Aria, I'm very possessive. Being with me, maybe I'll get jealous even if you say an extra word to someone else. I said, I have already thrown away the roses. You should know, I'm allergic to pollen. He said, I also tend to be insecure. I replied, okay, then I'll tell you I love you every day from now on. The force around my waist tightened, and I heard Liam curse softly. He cupped my face fiercely. Aria, did you know I liked you and deliberately come to tease me? I finally smiled, kissing him on the cheek. Yes, someone tipped me off that you liked me, so I came to see. I didn't expect to fall in love with you at first sight. Liam's kiss was just like him, restrained yet with a hint of agitation. I was robbed of air and strength, my whole body feeling like it was melting into water. Only his support kept me from sliding to the ground. He seemed unable to understand how his well-hidden secret love had been discovered by me. It's magic, the magic that 28 years old you and I cast together. Liam and I are together now. When my 28 years old self heard this news, she sent me a congratulations. I said, after being beaten up by Liam, Connor Sullivan never came looking for me again. I think he won't come in the future either. In the future. Has anything changed on your side? Disappointingly, she replied. No. She comforted me saying, don't worry. The me from before missed Liam, but you didn't miss him. That's enough. Although she said this, I felt a faint regret in my heart. It's precisely because Liam is by my side now that I find it harder to imagine how the other me lives in a world without Liam.
Why?
I had clearly changed her past. Putting myself in her shoes, she must be very sad now. I wanted to comfort her, but didn't know where to start. Instead, she took the initiative to bring up, you've done well, but there's one more thing you need to pay special attention to. I asked, what is it? The text message read, Christmas. On Christmas in 2020, Liam got into a fight near the school. Because the situation was quite serious, Liam was detained for 7 days and put on academic probation by the school. According to my future self, the reason why Liam acted violently had always been a mystery. Before this incident, although his family background wasn't good, his academic performance was excellent, almost perfect scores in his major courses. With his abilities, he would definitely be able to change people's prejudices against him within a few years. But after that incident, it was uncertain whether he could graduate smoothly, let alone the high medical compensation he had to bear. Just reading the text made me feel heartbroken. My love, it seems heaven deliberately gave him many trials. An unfortunate childhood, an unrequited love unknown to others. These were not enough. It even wanted to ruin his most beautiful youth. I took this matter to heart, reminding Liam every few days to use words instead of fists when encountering problems. Okay, I promise you, Liam said, holding my hand, with an attitude of agreeing to whatever I said. I felt relieved. But he changed his tone. There's only one situation where I can't do it. If you're in danger, I'll go crazy. I reached out to cover his mouth. Everything was fine. Why mention going crazy? Knock on wood. On Christmas Day, I wished I could tie Liam to me 24 hours a day. Fortunately, we went out on a date for the whole day, and nothing happened. I could finally put down my worries and prepare to call a car back to school. When passing by that trendy dessert shop, Liam said, I'm going to buy something. I knew what he wanted to buy and hesitated. Let me go with you. Liam smiled and pinched my face. Why are you so clingy today? I glared at him and he laughed. Wait for me at the door. It's crowded inside. Be careful not to get pushed around. While waiting for Liam, a red sports car stopped nearby. A man and a woman got out. I glanced casually and realized I knew both of them. The man was Connor Sullivan, who hadn't appeared in front of me for a long time. The woman was the beauty queen from the business school, a rich and beautiful girl. They walked towards me together. Connor's expression froze when he saw me, and the beauty queen beside him also paused, then let out a scream. I instinctively turned around to look, and what I saw almost gave me psychological trauma. There was a man behind me who had taken off his pants in front of me. Even after being discovered, he wasn't afraid. He grinned at me, revealing a mouthful of yellow teeth. This was a perverted exhibitionist. Holy crap! I ran a few steps to the side, instinctively calling out, Liam. As soon as I called, someone pulled me over and shielded me behind them. It was Liam, still holding the chocolate muffin he had bought for me in one hand. His lips were tightly pressed together, his eyes fierce, and without hesitation, he punched the man down with one blow. The man swayed and fell directly to the ground. Liam kicked him, kicking as if to kill. The man lay on the ground, his body curled up in pain. Liam was about to kick a second time when I finally reacted and pulled him away. Liam, that's enough, stop. I touched his face, making him look at me. I'm fine. Do you remember what you promised me? Please don't fight anymore, okay? I then realized his eyes were red. He really was going crazy, like an enraged lion. I regretted it so much. I had wanted to keep him away from school on Christmas Day, away from potential dangers. I didn't expect that going out on a date would lead to encountering a flasher. Liam looked at me, gradually calming down. Such a big incident naturally led to someone calling the police. Fortunately, Liam stopped in time, and the beaten man could still stand up on his own, not to the extent of needing an ambulance. After we finished giving our statements at the police station, I nervously asked the police, "Is this incident serious? Will we be detained? Will the school give us disciplinary action?" The police looked at me somewhat amusedly. "Don't be afraid, it's not serious. In fact, we've received several calls recently about a flasher sexually harassing women near the university. What you did was an act of justice. How could you be detained or disciplined? We'll contact your school and give you 2 accommodation flag." Leaving the police station, I finally breathed a long sigh of relief. That was close. In the parallel timeline, was it an incident like this that affected the other Liam's bright future? I couldn't help but look at Liam, only to find him staring intently at me, his expression not quite right. What's wrong? I feel afraid in hindsight. He rested his chin on my shoulder, his tone self-blaming. I was the one who told you to wait outside. I found him so cute that I couldn't help but tease him with a straight face. It is quite serious. I might need a lifetime to heal from that sight. Liam's expression indeed became increasingly grave. I couldn't keep it up anymore. I put my hand in his, our hands intertwined, and said, "It seems the only punishment is for you to take me wherever you go for the rest of your life." Extra chapter. My name is Aria Winters. I'm a designer, and I just celebrated my 28th birthday last week. The birthday was held at home. To celebrate my birthday and my successful discharge from the hospital, my mom and my friends threw a grand party for me. At the party, an exquisite birthday cake was brought out, and I made a wish and cut the cake surrounded by everyone. While making a wish, my mom whispered beside me, "I hope Aria finds the person who loves her the most soon." I closed my eyes, tears streaming down my face. My wish was, I hope the person who loves me most could come back to life. I have been quite lucky in this life. Lucky to be born into a happy and loving family. Lucky to get into my dream university. Lucky to pursue a career I love. But a person's luck is conserved. When I was 18, just starting my freshman year, I met Connor Sullivan, who later became my husband. Connor appeared gentle, passionate, and considerate in front of me. Whatever I wanted, he would bring it to me. Connor persistently pursued me for half a year, and I inevitably fell for him. He confessed to me in front of the whole school. Amidst the teasing and blessings from the crowd, a figure rushed out, gripping my wrist with great force, saying he liked me and asking me not to accept Connor. I knew him. He seemed to be from the computer science department, named Liam Blackwood. But I had heard that last Christmas, he got into a fight near the school and almost beat someone into the ICU. People said he had some mental issues. In any case, being stared at by those dark eyes, I was truly startled. I rejected him, not because of his physical condition, but simply because I didn't know him. I liked Connor. Liam didn't let go even after I rejected him. In the end, he was pulled away by Connor's friends. Because of the rumors about his mental illness, everyone was a bit wary, afraid he might suddenly go berserk. But at that time, he just looked at me, his gaze stubborn, saying nothing. Even as the crowd dispersed and Connor led me away by the hand, I saw in my peripheral vision that he was still standing there, watching me. After getting together with Connor, he went along with everything I said. Although his family background wasn't good, my parents unanimously felt that finding someone who treated me well and was ambitious was enough. Our family was quite wealthy, so it wouldn't be a problem for Connor to be alive, in son-in-law. I told Connor about this. My intention was to let him know not to feel pressured about marrying me. Our family didn't need him to contribute any money. Loving me was enough. He smiled and took out an engagement ring he had prepared, proposing to me. I was busy feeling touched and crying, and didn't notice the flash of humiliation and endurance in his eyes. I was happy for 2 years after marriage. Under my dad's promotion, Connor's position kept rising. Later, during a company crisis, my dad fell ill with worry and Connor leaped to become the company's vice president. After my dad passed away, Connor became increasingly busy with company social engagements, and his attitude towards me became more and more perfunctory and cold. Once, I found a used condom in his shirt pocket. I was utterly disgusted, threw it in front of him, and confronted him. He explained I cried and made a fuss, and during the argument he slapped me. I said, "Connor Sullivan, you're finished. Everything he is now was given by my family. Since we could give, I also had ways to take it back." He looked like I had caught his weakness, kneeling down and slapping himself twice, saying he would never do it again. Years of feelings made me choose to believe him. However, a month later, Connor said he would take me mountain climbing. It wasn't until the car drove to the mountaintop and I felt weak all over that I realized all this was just his delaying tactic. As he took out a rope from the car, preparing to push me off the cliff, I finally understood that everything was just his act. The company's issues were his doing. My dad's illness wasn't unrelated to him. He never loved me. All along, he just saw me as a stepping stone for his ascent. In the wilderness, with a cliff behind me and a man who once said he loved me but was now about to kill me for money and status in front of me. Our strength difference was too great. 10 of me probably couldn't beat one Connor Sullivan, let alone with my hands and feet tied. I only had the fate of being slaughtered. I closed my eyes in resignation, but the expected feeling of weightlessness never came. I opened my eyes to find Connor already wrestling with someone on the ground. The person straddling him and pummeling his head turned out to be Liam Blackwood, whom I hadn't seen in years. Liam fought with a crazy intensity, as if he was betting his life. In terms of strength, Connor shouldn't have been able to beat him, but Connor had come prepared to murder me today. Seeing himself at a disadvantage, he actually pulled out a small knife and stabbed it into Liam's stomach. Connor staggered to his feet, looked at me with a strange expression, muttering like a madman. He really loves you that much, hasn't given up after all these years. Loves me? Who?
Liam?
My brain was in a fog. I watched him walk towards me, come to the edge of the cliff. Just as he was about to act, that figure behind him seized the opportunity, rushing up without hesitation. Connor hadn't expected Liam to have this move left, and both men fell off the cliff together. Before Liam rushed up, he gave me one deep look. In this life, I had only made eye contact with him twice. Once at the university gate, when he confessed to me under the name of Psycho. And now, with several stab wounds in his abdomen, blood flowing freely, but after looking at me once, he unhesitatingly threw himself at Connor, taking the danger away from me. I was left tied up on the mountaintop. By the time the police came to rescue me, I had already fainted from exhaustion. When I woke up again, I saw my mom's worried face. My mom grabbed my hand ecstatically, crying and cursing Connor Sullivan for being inhuman, saying he deserved to die. I closed my eyes and asked, "Mom, what about Liam?" My mom's voice suddenly stopped. After a while, she carefully observed my expression and said in a low voice, "You mean the boy who fell with that beast?" When the police found him, he was already. I suddenly burst into tears. Later, I learned that no one even came to claim Liam's body. His father was missing, and the police couldn't contact his distant relative for the time being. On my 28th birthday, I was discharged from the hospital. The first thing I did was go to Liam's house to sort out his belongings. I found a wooden box under his bed. When I opened it, on top was a palm-sized notebook. On the cover was neatly written, "Her." Inside, it recorded every little detail about me. He knew I was allergic to pollen, knew I liked the chocolate muffins from a certain store, knew I only drank milk tea with 30% sugar. At the end of the diary, he wrote, "I have been carrying out a secret love throughout my student years. She doesn't know, but it's okay. Someone better than me will come to love her." So he really did love me, loved me to the bone, yet with restraint. Under the diary were some miscellaneous small items. There was a pen I had used up, a half-used pack of tissues, my hair tie, and even a mobile phone. This was the birthday gift my dad bought me when I first started university, the latest model at the time. It broke in my junior year, and I switched to a new one. I casually threw the broken one into the school's recycling bin, never expecting it to end up with Liam. That night when IAing on bed, I tried charging the phone and turning it on. Surprisingly, it worked. Amazingly, as soon as I turned it on, before I even inserted a SIM card or connected to the internet, the phone started automatically popping up messages. "Aria, aren't you asleep yet? There's an 8 a.m. class with the department head tomorrow." The phone system time showed September 23rd, 2020. This was probably the most surreal birthday I've ever had. Perhaps heaven heard my prayer and decided to grant my birthday wish. I, through this 10-year-old phone in my hand, contacted my 18-years-old self. I told her to stay away from Connor Sullivan, begged her to save Liam. She did it and even told me she was together with Liam. At that moment, I really envied her, envied this different 18-years-old me. The 18-years-old her could date Liam, while the 28-years-old me could only accept this world without Liam's existence. Maybe she wasn't me from 10 years ago, maybe she was just an 18-years-old Aria Winters in another parallel universe. But I still hope that the Aria Winters in this world can find the person who loves her most, and that the Liam in this world suffers fewer setbacks. Wake up. In my days, someone was calling me. I've been physically and mentally exhausted lately, so I buried my head in the quilt and mumbled unclearly, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes is fine too. That voice was tinged with laughter, very close, as if right by my pillow. You said you wanted to try on wedding dresses today. If your eyes get puffy from sleeping, don't get angry. I abruptly opened my eyes. Liam's enlarged face was right in front of me. Those eyes that were always dark and struggling were now curved into two small crescents. Liam poked my nose with a finger. Mom and Dad are waiting downstairs to see how long you'll sleep. I remembered that Liam and I had been dating for 7 years. We met each other's parents in the second year. My parents were very satisfied with him, saying they could support us in our careers, but he said he wanted to be able to support me himself before he could marry me. Now, Liam has established his own company with software he developed. Every month, he transfers all the money he earns to my account without keeping a cent. He carries me wherever he goes. Our friends say he's raising me like a daughter. Even my parents think so, always telling him not to spoil me too much. Today is the day we're going to choose wedding dresses. I did a fish flop on the bed and threw a tantrum. Why didn't you wake me up earlier? Liam pulled up the quilt, covering my shoulders, and laughed into the quilt. I'm kidding. Mom and Dad haven't arrived yet. We'll go in the afternoon. Now you can sleep for. Let me think, 20 more 5-minute intervals. I'll count for you. Or you can kiss me once, and I'll deduct 1 count. Liam, who likes to tease me, is so annoying. Don't you know you might lose me like this? I hugged his neck and kissed his face exactly 20 times. He, my own fiancé, bribed fair and square.
The end.
Thank you for watching our video. For more amazing stories, make sure to subscribe to our channel.